We are the Hebrew Israelites, come out to prophesy against this wicked society known as America, and to show our people who they are according to the Bible, to the word of the Most High. I want to give all praise to Yahawah Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to our elders, a great millstone, and salutations to all the brothers out there preaching the truth in peace and sincerity.
Truth and sincerity. So we're gonna start this thing out with some Hebrew. Chaya Yahawah, Shapat Nawar, Yahawah, Yahawah, Machwach Nawar, Malak Nawar, Hawa'ah, Yeshai Nawar. Read that. This is what I said.
Isaiah chapter 33 verse 22. For the Lord Yahawah is our judge, the Lord Yahawah is our lawgiver, the Lord Yahawah is our king, he will save us.
Exactly. That's why we come out every week, to remind you that Yahawah Bahashim Yahushai is our judge. He's our lawgiver. Alright? Being Yahawah first and foremost. And he's our king. And he's gonna save us from this captivity, as it says in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68, that no man shall save you. Or by you is what it says, but no man shall save you. Alright, so we here waiting on the Most High to save us. But we trust in the Most High with all our heart in His Son. Alright? Go ahead and give me Titus 1:16. Now one of the things that it said is Yahawah Shapat Nawar. Yahawah Shakwach. Let me get that again. Let me make sure I say that word right. It says Yahawah Shapat Nawar, which means Yahawah is our judge. Yahawah Machwach Nawar, which means Yahawah is our lawgiver. Alright? With that being said, the Most High gave us laws. Alright? And the Most High is the judge of those laws. The Most High is the lawgiver, not us ourselves. Therefore, when we deal with our brothers in your camps, brothers among you, we must deal with them in a lawful manner. Alright? Because the Most High gave us those laws, and we cannot create our own laws and judge our brothers by our own laws. Go ahead and read that.
Titus chapter 1 verse 16. Correct?
Yep.
Salakia. They profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny Him.
Exactly. So some of us, we go out and teach every week. Or we say, yo, call me Asherallah. I'm Yasharallah. But what do? We judge our brothers by laws that are not so. We call our brother wicked because he has done something that you may not like, but that is not against the law. We out here, we teach, and we cursing people out, but we're not teaching them how to keep the Most High laws. There has to be a balance among things, man. Go ahead.
John chapter 7 verse 24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
Exactly. Cannot judge according to how one appears. Alright? Or how a situation appears. You must judge according to knowledge. Scriptures say understand first and then rebuke. Because you see a man with, let's say, I don't know, you see a man with a snake around his neck. You say, yo, the Most High gonna kill you, nigga, because you worship snakes. Well, you don't know that to be true. Nor did you inquire, as our forefathers said, before you made that judgment, to say that the Most High was gonna kill this man. All right, because symbols are double. Everything is double. That one may establish the good of other. Everything can be used for good or bad. That snake could represent knowledge to him. That snake could represent anything. Therefore, like I said, you cannot judge according to your own laws. You must therefore judge according to wisdom according to the Most High laws, because the Most High is our lawgiver. Go ahead.
Titus chapter 1 verse 16, they profess that they know the Most High, but
some say that they know the Most High. Yeah, brother, we out here teaching every week. We the prophets of the Most High. My fault. We the prophets of the Most High. We the men of the Lord. Okay, and the Most High gonna kill all you niggas, man. But yet and still you at home and you being a nigga yourself, not keeping the Most High laws, not dealing with your brothers according to the Most High laws, acting as if your brother belongs to you and not the Most High. With that, keep going.
They profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny Him.
Yeah, your works, meaning your actions. All right? If you're out here teaching, it don't matter how many breakdowns you know. If you ain't keeping them laws and you ain't dealing with your brother according to how the law says deal with your brother, your ass ain't going nowhere. You're gonna stay your ass on the earth when them nuclear missiles hit. Yeah, prophesying is good, but keeping the law is good as well. It has to be a balance. All right? It's not all about prophesying. It's not all about saying you're an Israelite and I got a beard. Yahawah said the whole of the law, and what the law hangs on is loving your neighbor, which is your brother. And how do you love your brother? By keeping the laws, because the laws were made for us to deal with each other in love. But that's getting beyond the point. Go ahead.
But in works they deny Him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate.
Exactly. When you cause strife between brothers, that's wicked. That's something that the Most High hates. You become abominable. Abominable. When you go out and you become a homosexual, you have hatred for your nation because you then cannot produce children to make your nation strong. That's abominable. See, all the laws are put there so that we can deal with each other in righteousness, deal with the earth in righteousness and in love. To be a homosexual is hatred for your nation, man. For your people, especially if you're an Israelite, you're so-called Negro, Native American, or Hispanic. Because that movement was created to depopulate your people. Just the same way as Pharaoh was tossing the firstborn, the male children inside of the Nile and killing the male children. That's the same thing with homosexuality, but we're not gonna stay on that point. But the point what I'm trying to make is that when you break these laws, it shows the hatred for your nation, the Most High, and your brothers and sisters, man. Go ahead. Give me Ezekiel 16:43.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 43. Because thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, but hast fretted me in all these things.
Because you're not remembering the days of your youth. When is that? Ancient Israel, ancient Yahawah. When we were in the land. You not remember your forefathers. You not remembering them ancient laws that the Most High gave us. You have forgot them and become a whole new nation. You have become Americans. You have become African Americans. You have become Europeans. Edomites. You have become Edomites. You're of your father the devil. If you want to, you can bring that out. You have become Edomites, man. The whole nation, because you're following the ways of the Edomites. Edomites don't love their brothers. That's why they kill them and they got them in slavery right now along with us. Look at the history of Europe. All they did was fight wars with each other. They're a warsome nation. This is what you have become. All your songs talking about killing each other, committing adultery with the thing now is to sleep with another man's wife. All these fucking women out here, and you want to sleep with the next man's wife. Why? Because you have become Edomites, man. Go ahead.
John chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do.
And that's what you do. Now, we all went through that because we all was in the world at one time. And some of us, I'll say that, a lot of us, I say all of us, is still struggling to get out of that shit. But we're not supposed to do those things. The laws are not set up to be like that, man. Some of you look for any reason to cast your brother down because you have nothing else to say. You have nothing to teach about. So let's teach about this brother right here that's saying something right, but I don't agree with it. So I'm gonna say the Most High gonna kill him. That ain't right. It's not lawful. It says, hate not thy brother in thy heart. It tells you not to be a talebearer. Hate not thy brother and be not a talebearer. We'll get to it. We're not to it yet. Go ahead and read that.
He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth because there is no truth in him.
Exactly. Exactly.
When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
Yeah, the Most High gonna do this. The Most High gonna do that. The Most High is this, the Most High is that, but you had not come out the scripture. You coming out your heart, man. You got blue hair? Oh, nigga, you wicked. How you gonna have blue hair? You a homosexual. Because a man got blue hair don't make him a homosexual. He just got blue hair. There's no law to say you can't color your hair. Not that I'm aware of. Man just got blue hair. Go ahead, bro.
This is back in Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 43. Because thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, but hast fretted me in all these things, behold, therefore I also will recompense thy way upon thine head.
Did it say anything about lewdness yet? Okay, keep going. Therefore will I also
recompense thy way upon thine head, saith Yahawah, and thou shalt not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations.
Ezekiel 16:43 and through on whatever. Look for lewdness. Exactly. Therefore, what about the lewdness?
Thou shalt not. Therefore, I also will recompense thy way upon thine head, saith Yahawah, and thou shalt not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations.
Exactly. But this is how we've become now. To where we commit lewdness, which is, it's going to tell you that lewdness is basically breaking of the laws.
Lewdness, a plan, especially a bad one, heinous crime, mischief, purpose, thought, wicked.
Mischief and a heinous crime. Crimes meaning things that are against the law. Alright? That's how we've become, man. We've become a nation that has no laws because we let these Christians tell us that the laws are done away with. So now we've become lawless. Now we've become the ones that say that a sin is anything against God without any fucking definition of it. We're the one that say cussing is a sin because we feel in our hearts that cursing is wrong. Well, the Most High never made any law against fucking language. I've never seen a word banned. So when you tell your brother you wicked, the Most High gonna kill your ass, or the Most High gonna fuck you up because you said shit, that means you have become the lawgiver. That means you have judged your brother by your own law, which things we're not supposed to do. Go ahead, bro. Let's sit on that. Go ahead and give me Ezekiel 18:4. Now the reason you cannot do these things is because your brother does not belong to you. Your brother is not your servant. You cannot hold him to things that you want to hold him to. You must hold him to the things that his master his creator has said that he must be held to, which is within the law and within the precepts of the scriptures. Go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 18 verse 4, behold, all souls are mine, as the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die.
Exactly. Now what is sin? Somebody give me that. 1 John 3 and 4. Just give me that real quick. Go ahead.
1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin, transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
So the Most High says that in the scriptures that all souls belong to him. Not to you, to him. Therefore you can't judge another soul by your own laws. That's why in Matthew, I can't remember the chapter, it says, judge not, lest ye be judged first. For by the same meat that you judge, you shall be judged. All right, go ahead, give me Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 12 through 13. And if you can find that, judge not, I think it's Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. You can find that, go ahead and read it. Now this does not mean to say that we cannot judge, like the Christians will tell you. Because we're a nation that must know judgment. Because we are the judges of the earth. We must know judgment. We're like the Most High, so we must know judgment and we must judge others. It's just that we have a standard that we judge by. When you go to the court, the judge cannot judge you by a law that's not been passed by Congress or the legislature. If he does, he's going beyond his authority to do so. The same with you brothers. You cannot judge beyond what the legislator, being the Most High, has given you to judge, which is within the laws. You judge without that, you have gone beyond your authority to judge, and therefore have taken the authority of the Most High, which things that we are not supposed to do. All right, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Matthew chapter 7, verse 1.
Matthew 7 and 1. Judge not that ye be not judged. For with what
now stop. Usually Christians will stop right there and tell you you cannot judge anyone. That's bullshit. You're judging all the time, man. Life is all about judgments. You made a judgment this morning. You just made a judgment if you're watching this video. You had to judge between watching and not watching the video. You made a judgment if you exit off because you had to judge between if this is worth your time or if it's not worth your time. If it's a good video or if it's not a good video. Judgments are always being made. Go ahead, bro.
For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged.
Exactly. So if you judge wicked judgment, you're going to be judged that way. If you judge righteous judgment according to the law, then the Most High will give you a righteous judgment, a righteous reward. Go ahead.
And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again.
Right.
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?
You're going to tell your brother, yo, man, you need to stop looking at all these fucking women and shit like that. You can't have all these women. You can't look at all these women. But you yourself are sleeping with other women that have husbands. You're an adulterer, but you're telling your brother that he can't look at women. That he can't touch women. Well, guess what? The Most High gonna judge your ass because you tried to judge your brother according to a law that wasn't there, and you tried to judge your brother being a hypocrite yourself. Is that on that? Hit on that? Is that it on that? That's it? Go ahead.
Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye?
Yep.
Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye.
Now, did he say you can't judge? No. He said you're a fucking hypocrite. You got to cast the beam out your own eye. Meaning, get over the wicked shit that you're doing before you tell your brother that he's doing the same thing and he can't do that. Go ahead.
And then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
Exactly. Go ahead, bro.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith.
Exactly. Every day, every minute of the day, every hour of the day, every millisecond of the day, you should be judging yourself. Now, when you judge yourself every day according to the laws, well, am I doing this right? Why am I doing this? Should I be doing this? Then you judge yourself to see if you be in the faith, man. Go ahead.
Prove your own selves.
Prove yourself. Can you look up that word prove for me?
Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahawah HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates?
What scripture you reading so the brother can look up that word
2
prove?
Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5.
That goes in what the brother was talking about seconds and milliseconds. That goes in hand with the fear of the Most High. That's gonna help you judge yourself and see if you're doing the right thing. If you got fear for the Most High, if you got fear for the Most High, you're gonna constantly try and am I doing the right thing? Make sure I'm staying within the law. You're gonna constantly be doing that. If you have fear for the Most High.
If you got love for the Most High, you're gonna do that.
God.
Because you want to do what the Most High asks you to do.
To prove. It says to test, by implication to approve, allow, discern, examine.
So you must test yourself. That's what it's saying. All right? It don't mean you go out and you prove to somebody else. Look, I'm an Israelite. Look at my beard. You know what I mean? Look at my Shield of David. Look at my menorah. Shalom, Yahawah Shemiah Shabarakatah. No, it means to prove within yourself. It means to test yourself. Go ahead, bro, read it. All right, read it.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, examine.
Yeah, go back to where you was at.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahawah HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates? But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates.
Exactly. Reprobate meaning without understanding and judgment. Can anybody get the scripture about being a Israelite outwardly? Yeah, give me Matthew chapter 23, verse 28. And then Romans chapter 2, verse 28.
Romans 2 and 28.
2 and 28 and 29.
Which verse? Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Matthew chapter 23, Matthew chapter 23, verse 28. Even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity.
Exactly, and that's how some brothers are. Hold that. I'm gonna read verse 1. What does verse 1 say? But hold it. That's what some brothers appear. You see them, they fiery, they're cursing everybody out. But on the outside, they look like the top Israelite. Like, yeah, that's a real Israelite right there. But inwardly, they not. They ain't trying to keep the laws. They're not focused on the laws. They're not focused on dealing with their brother righteously. They're not focused on dealing with any Israelite, brother or sister, or son, or daughter, or wife. Right, according to the scriptures. It's not just about dealing with your brother that's standing next to you righteously. It's about dealing with anybody you come into contact with according to the scriptures, okay? That's what it's about. That's when you're an Israelite. Go ahead.
Verse 29, woe unto you scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets, and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets.
Yeah, you got some people out there teaching saying the same shit. Read verse 1. What verse 1 say?
Verse 1?
Yeah.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 1. Then spake Yahawah to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not.
Exactly. You got brothers that come out every week and they teach and they condemn Esau and they condemn people that come up and they say this, that, and the other, but they ain't keeping them laws. They're not dealing with their brother right. They trying to get over on their brother. They're not paying their debts to their brothers. Brother loan the money, they don't pay it back. Well, in the law, you say you got to pay back your debt to the best of your ability. Or a brother loan another brother money, and he mad because the brother ain't paying back, instead of just taking that L, knowing that the brother can't pay him. So he talks shit about the brother, and he mad with the brother. But the scriptures say after 7 years, you're supposed to clear that debt. Or if your brother can't pay you, you're not supposed to worry, you're supposed to write it off. But this is the small things that I'm talking about. We so focused on keeping, not shaving and shit like that, that we forget the small things about debts when we deal with our brother. The small things we forget. We so focused on cursing Esau out that we forget the small things of the law on how we supposed to deal with each other. It says not to be a talebearer, but you got brothers that'll talk shit about another brother. That'll hear one brother, that'll hear a brother talk, and they go run to the elders and be like, yo, the brother said this, that, and the other, and the brother didn't say that shit. How do I know? Because the shit happened to me before. These are the small things of the law that we can't even fucking get over. But yet and still we go out in the streets and say we're Israel, we Yasharallah. That ain't fucking Yasharallah. Yasharallah stands for he's the prince of the Most High. He's the son of the Most High. You think the son of the Most High supposed to act them ways? The son of the Most High supposed to be honorable like Yahawah. Alright, where we was at? Go read that, keep reading. Is that it on that? On that first chapter? Number 1, 2, keep going.
Verse 4, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves would not move them with one of their fingers.
Alright, brothers, every week you gotta give me $600. Every week you gotta give me $100. Every month you gotta give me $300. Where it say that shit at in the scriptures? And you gotta pay a membership fee to be a part of this organization. Where that's at in the scriptures? It don't say that shit. You're making it grievous for your brother to do what he's supposed to do. You're making up these damn laws. You're making up these commandments that you're trying to force your brother to keep as though he's your servant. He's not your servant. No brother's no brother's servant. He's the Most High servant. If anything, like Yahawah said, you're supposed to serve each other, not make your brother to serve you. I wish I could find that scripture, man. Is it more on that? Go ahead and read it if it's more.
Verse 5, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments.
Yep.
And love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues and greetings in the markets to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Hamashiach, and all ye are brethren.
Oh shit, there goes such and such right there. Oh yeah, that's that brother right there. Yo, he raw, man. He raw. Some brothers crave that shit, man. They want to be known as the top Israelite with the top breakdowns or the top group. All right, give me Matthew chapter 20, verse 25 through 28. But this how Yahawah said we're supposed to be.
Matthew chapter 20, verse 25. But Yahawah called them unto him and said, Ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them.
That's how the heathens do. Alright, one heathen is the top, he exercised dominion over everybody else. He's the boss. He gonna misuse you and abuse you because he has the power to. Go ahead.
But it shall not be so among you.
But we ain't supposed to be like that. We're Yahawah. We're a nation of priests. We're the righteous nation. Go ahead.
But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister.
Let him be what?
Your minister.
That means if I'm a head of a camp, I'm not supposed to use and abuse these brothers and make these brothers do things that I want them to do. I'm supposed to minister to them. I'm supposed to teach them. I'm supposed to help them and not them do these things to me. I'm supposed to become their servant and not them become my servant. That's how Yahawah is. That's what Yahawah says we're supposed to be. Go ahead.
And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant, even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister.
Exactly. Yahawah didn't come to be, well, how do I put this? Yahawah came to die for you, to resurrect for you. He came to give to you, not for you to give to him. Is that it?
There's more.
Go ahead.
And to give his life a ransom for many.
Exactly. Now, go ahead and give me on first and 2 Corinthians about judge. I think it's 1 Corinthians chapter 6.
Judge,
we shall judge the other nations.
Judge the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me that. Because it's going to tell you about judges. See, we're backwards from the other nations. We're the other way. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 6 verse 1.
Read fast. Go ahead.
Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?
Right.
Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Right.
And if the world shall be judged by you, are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
Well, we're supposed to be judges. Go ahead. That's the point. You brothers are supposed to act like judges. But not just any type of judge, not Edomite judges, because that's how we act. Because we have an Edomite state of mind. No, you're Supposed to act like a judge of Yahawah. Alright? Shapat Nawar Yahawah, Shapat Yahawah, a judge of Yahawah. Go ahead, bro.
Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life?
Go ahead.
If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life.
Read that again. If what?
If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life.
Right.
Set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church.
Set them who?
Set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church.
So the judge is supposed to be the least esteemed. Not the great man. The smallest man. Why? Because the smallest man is gonna do it right, most likely, and fair. And nobody knows the small man. So nobody gonna have a respect of persons. And he may not have a respect of persons. But also because we're supposed to minister to each other, man. Go ahead.
If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church. I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren.
Between who?
Between his brethren.
So you're supposed to judge between your brothers, but judge righteous judgment. Judgment according to the scriptures, mainly the laws. This is how we're supposed to deal with each other, man. But we don't deal with each other like this. We just talk shit about each other. Do sit-downs on each other. Condemn each other. Go ahead.
But brother, go up to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. Now therefore there is utterly a fault among you, because you go to law one with another.
That's it, bro. That's it on that. Was it more what you had?
No, in Matthew, I got
Go
What,
ahead.
Nehemiah 9?
Nah, bro. You right. What? That was the next one. Nehemiah 12 through 13.
This is Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 12. Moreover, thou leddest them in the day by a cloudy pillar, and in the night by a pillar of fire,
Talking about Egypt. Go ahead. When we came out of Egypt. Go ahead.
to give them light in the way wherein they should go. Thou camest down also upon Mount Sinai, and spakest with them from heaven, and gavest them right judgments
Right judgments.
and true laws.
True law. This is what we didn't give. No, the Most High didn't give us no religion. He didn't give us no religion. He gave us right judgments and true laws. Go ahead.
Good statutes and judgments,
Right.
and madest known unto them thy holy Sabbath, and commandest them precepts, statutes, and laws by the hand of Moses thy servant,
Right.
and gavest them bread from heaven for their hunger.
What verse?
15.
No, you're good. That's it. Go ahead and give me Leviticus 19 and 15 through 18. So the Most High gave us right judgment and true laws in order for us to deal with each other. In order for us to deal with anything. In order for us to deal with the other nations. In order for us to deal with the earth. Haratizah. This is what the Most High gave us. To deal with everything that we need to deal with in rightness. Sometimes we get righteousness fucked up. Righteousness means rightness. In the right way. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 20.
19.
Oh, Salakia. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 15.
through 18.
Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
Right?
Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty.
So when we judge, we're supposed to judge in fairness. Not respecting or not having prejudice for poor or rich. But judge them as equals according to righteousness, according to the facts of the evidence. Go ahead.
But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
Right? Which is your brother. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Right. You shouldn't go around saying your brother said this or the brother said that and the brother didn't say that.
I got the
Go ahead. Huh?
Precept.
Nah, hold that. We'll get to that later. Nah, you read it.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yahawah Bashim Yahushua.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Thou shalt not, what?
Hate thy brother in thine heart.
Not supposed to hate your brother. In your heart. Supposed to love your brother. Now how do we know we loving our brother? Because in America, in English, the word love is abstract. That shit really doesn't mean anything. There's no definition for fucking love. You can tell somebody you love them, but what the fuck does that really mean? It doesn't mean shit. It's just a fucking emotion that you think you may feel. But within us, within Israel, love means to keep your brother on keeping the laws. And if he goes off, to correct him. That's love. Love also is to deal with the Most High in the correct manner, which is to keep his laws. That's love. See, love in our culture is defined. It's defined. It has an action to it. Love within this culture is undefined. It does not have an action to it. It's not defined. So we got to get out of the Edomite concept, the Edomite mind. Stop being fucking Americans and thinking love just means love. Well, I love my brother, but I talk shit about him behind his back, but I love him. Using that undefined definition, ahab, meaning love in our scriptures, means to keep the laws, means you love the Most High, and to help your brother keep the laws to the best of your ability without prejudice means that you love your brother. And when you keep the laws, you love your brother. All right, go ahead. We'll get into that in a second. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
So when you don't suffer your brother to transgress, because maybe he didn't know he was doing some shit. Or maybe he did. But when you not suffer him to transgress, it shows that you love him. and that you love the Most High. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge.
Is that 18?
This is 18, man.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Exactly. Yahushua said, doing to others as thou want done unto thyself. So the way that you treat the brothers is the way that you would want to be treated. All right? If you want a brother to just curse you out without understanding what you're saying, then you shouldn't do that yourself. All right? That's how we're supposed to deal with each other. As a righteous nation. As Yah, Shar, Prince, Allah. Power. Prince of the power. All right? Go ahead and give me Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 through 40.
I'm at 22.
Go ahead.
What verse?
36 through 40. You give me James chapter 2, verse 8 through 13.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahawah said unto them, Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
Now remember, I just explained to you the differences between English love, the word love in the English, and ahab, the word love in Hebrew. Ahab is defined, all right, within the scriptures. Ahab Yahawah, the love of Yahawah, is defined within the scriptures as keeping the law. Ahab Achim, the love of your brothers, is defined within the scriptures as keeping the laws and not suffering your brother to sin or to correct him or to rebuke him. So this word is defined. It's a deed and a action. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 38, this is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
So on two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. To love your brother as you love yourself, and to love the Most High. Why? Because that is the keeping of the law. Matter of fact, give me Exodus, man. Give me Exodus. Give me Exodus chapter 20, verse 1, read all the way through 20. Now we're going to explain how keeping the laws, with just through the commandments, how keeping the laws is the love of the Most High and the love of your brothers. Go ahead.
This is Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Yahawah thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Right, because if you love the Most High, you're not going to worship no other God. That's why. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Right.
For I, Yahawah thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Go ahead.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
That love what?
That love me and keep my commandments.
Because love, the keeping of the commandments is love for the Most High. Keep going.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
Keep going.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day.
Yep, keep going.
Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee.
Read that again.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee.
Now this says honor thy father and thy mother. Does it have a prerequisite of if they righteous, you honor them? No. It simply says honor thy father and thy mother. Whether they wicked or not wicked. Whether your dad was in your life or not. You're still supposed to honor him, man. That's love for the Most High when you do that. You had a dishonorable father. Your father was not in your life. He dashed you to the side, but you still honor him. You don't gotta like him, but you gotta speak honorable of his name if you speak of it. Why? Because the Most High says so, and because you want to love the Most High by keeping his laws. Go ahead.
Verse 13, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Start again.
Verse 13, thou shalt not kill.
Don't you think it shows that you love your brother if you don't kill him? Kill right there. That word is murder in the Hebrew. If you don't murder him, don't you think that shows that you love him? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
You want to love your brother. You don't want to cause him pain and by sleeping with his woman, putting seed inside of his woman. That's loving your brother. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
You don't want to steal from your brother. All these things show. Can you look up the word hate for me? All these things, if you do the opposite of what it's telling you, it shows hatred for your brother, man. It shows that you don't really give a fuck about him.
What, in the Bible?
Nah, look it up in the etymology or the definition. Look the definition up. Dictionary.com or something.
Hey, feel intense or passionate dislike.
Read that again.
To feel intense or passionate dislike.
So the word hate means intense or passionate dislike for a person. So if you're doing all these things, it shows that you hate your brother. You don't like him, man. You don't give a fuck about him, man. You're sleeping with his wife. You don't give a fuck about your brother because you know that shit gonna hurt him. Or you're gonna cause confusion within his house by putting a seed within his woman. You could break out a whole goddamn wall over that shit. All right, go ahead, keep reading, bro.
Verse 17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
You shouldn't look at his things with lust at them. I want that shit. I want it and I'm gonna take it. You can admire these things like, oh, he got a pretty woman. I want to have a woman like that one day. But you shouldn't look at it like, I want that woman. I'm gonna get her one day. I'm gonna get her one day. I'm gonna take his ass or his car or whatever, whatever it is. To show love for your brother would be not to do those things, not to cause heartache or financial problems on your brother, any type of problems within your brother's house or property. Go ahead.
And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, and when the people saw it, they were moved and stood far off, and they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die.
Exactly. All right, so give me James chapter 2, verse 8 through 13.
James 2, verse 8. If ye fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
What's the royal law?
If you fulfill the royal law according to the scripture.
This is the royal law. Why is it royal? Because we are Yah, Shar, Allah. Yah, He, Shar, Prince, royalty, Allah, power. We are the princes of the Most High. We are the sons of God, man. We are royalty. This is why the law that He gave us is called the royal laws. Go ahead. If you shall do what?
If you fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt
According
love
to what?
the scripture.
According to the scriptures. Not your own heart. Go ahead.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Now we read that in the law. Go ahead.
Ye do well.
You do what? You do well. Go ahead.
But if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin.
Right, you respect somebody, it means you disrespect the Most High, first of all, because the Most High told you within the law that you're not supposed to have a respect to persons for the poor or the rich. And you disrespect judgment because you're perverting judgment. And you disrespect the people that you're judging because it shows a lack of respect for the other person and more respect for one. Go ahead.
But if you have respect to persons, ye commit sin and are convinced of the law as transgressors.
Transgressors. Why? Because that's against the law. To have respect to persons while in judgment. Go ahead.
For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all.
Exactly. Go ahead.
For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill.
Right?
Now,
Not murder. Go ahead.
Now if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law.
Exactly.
So speak ye and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty.
Right. Go ahead.
For he shall have judgment without mercy, that have shown no mercy.
Right. So you should have mercy when you deal with your brothers. Because all of us are getting mercy through Yahawah, through Yahawah by his son Yahawah. I mean, from Yahawah through his son Yahawah. Go ahead.
And mercy rejoices against judgment.
Right.
What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him?
Right. So exactly. So you could be out here teaching and say you believe the Most High gonna save us through his son Yahawah, and you believe that, you know, all the things you believe. But if your ass don't have the works, meaning the keeping of the law down to the smallest laws about dealing with debt between you and your brother, about dealing with argument between you and your brother or two other brothers, about judging two other brothers that have a disagreement with each other, if you don't keep those laws, then you're incomplete. Because that's a part of your works. Go ahead, bro.
To be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you saying to them,
Where you at?
verse 16 now.
Nah, that's good. Go ahead and give me no, what I told you to do. Yes, Joshua 22 and 5.
22 and 5. Joshua chapter 22 verse 5, but take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law.
Give me 1 John chapter 3,
which
ahead,
Moses,
read that again.
Joshua chapter 22 verse 5, but take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law which Moses the servant of Yahawah charged you, to love Yahawah your power, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave unto him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul.
Read that one more time and read it slow.
Joshua chapter 22 verse 5, but take diligent heed to do the commandments.
So he's telling you to take diligent heed to keep the commandments, the law and the laws. Go ahead.
Which Moses the servant of Yahawah charged you.
Which laws? The ones that Moses gave us. Go ahead.
To love Yahawah your power.
Why? Because keeping the laws is loving, it means it's loving the Most High. That's why. That's it on that. We got 1 John 3, 13 through 19.
1 John 3 verse 13. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you.
Do what?
Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you.
It's okay for the world to hate us, not okay for us to hate each other. Go ahead.
We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren.
Because what?
Because we love the brethren.
Read that one more time, bro.
Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you.
Right?
We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren.
Because we love the brethren. Not in fucking word, not in meaningless word called love, but in ahab. Indeed, the deeds that you need to do to show love is within the scriptures, within the law, as we've been reading. Go ahead. That's how we know we passed from being dead to being alive. As it tells you in the book of Revelations, the dead Israelites. Now we're alive. And we know that we're alive because we love the brethren. According to what love is, according to the scriptures. Go ahead.
He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
He that what?
He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
Why? Because sin is death. This thing is sin is death. If you have sex with your brother's girlfriend, his wife, guess what? You're gonna catch this thing of sin, which is death. Also, you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be dead spiritually. All right. If you become a talebearer, running about to and fro, telling on your things on your brother that may not be so, or they're supposed to be in secret, then guess what? You just broke the law. You become dead. We're not dead. Go ahead.
He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
Is a murderer. Go ahead.
And you know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him.
Right.
Hereby perceive we the love of the Most High, because he laid down his life for us. Hereby perceive we the love of God, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought lay down our lives for the brethren.
Exactly. Yahawah came, he died for us, for his brethren. And we should be the same way for our brethren. Go ahead.
And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoso have this world's good, and seeth his brother have need, and shut up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of the Most High in him?
You see your brother needs something, your brother homeless or some shit, and you don't help your brother. Your brother need money for food, his lights off, and you don't help him, and you got it to help him. You don't have no compassion for this brother. Don't mean a wicked brother. Well, it don't say wicked or righteous, but I'm assuming that because it says brethren, it's talking about those that do the Most High will. You see your brother and then you don't have no compassion for him. That's not a trait of Yasharallah. That means you're not an Israelite. You're not Yasharallah. Go ahead.
My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
Yeah, you love in deed and in truth. By the things that you tell your brother, teaching your brother. All right, by you guys teaching each other. And in deed, by the things that you do. Your brother go off and you tell, hey brother, da-da-da-da. All right, by your actions. Go ahead.
And hereby we know that we are of the truth, and shall assure our hearts before him.
Right? Shall what?
And we shall assure our hearts before him.
Go ahead. What verse you at?
Verse 19.
We finished 19 and we're done with that.
For if our heart condemn us, God is greater than our heart, and knoweth all things. Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence toward the Most High. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments.
Because what?
Because we keep his commandments.
Exactly. What, 19?
22.
Nah, I said 19, that's it. James chapter 1, verse 22 through 25. And then my last one is Ezekiel chapter 18. Start at verse 1. James, go first though. James 1, 22 through 25.
James 1, verse 22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in the glass.
Start over.
James 1, verse 22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
Right, doers of it, and not hearers only. And doing does not just consist of coming out and teaching. Doing means the keeping of the laws. How you deal with your brothers, how you deal with your family at home. Right? How you deal with people that you come into contact every day. How you deal with the elderly? All right, elders don't, in the law, it tells you to rise before the hoary head. It don't just mean the elders get great millstone. It mean any elder, any elderly. Okay? Go ahead, bro.
But be ye doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in the glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
You know why? Because you're Yahawah. That's your image. All right? And that image is an image of righteousness and honor and kingship. So when you read the scriptures, you're reading about who you are, you got your image on, close it, you go about yourself, your day, and you forget everything you read.
10,
you don't
15,
keep none of the laws, huh?
10, 15 minutes.
You don't keep none of the laws. That means you straightway forgot the manner of man you were, being that you were Yahawah. That means you no longer Yahawah. Forgot your face. Go ahead, bro.
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein,
25 and stuff.
he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the word, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the fathers is this, to visit the fathers and widows in their affliction.
That's 25?
27.
25, bro. That's it. Ezekiel 18. Started 1.
Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 1, the word of Yahawah came unto me again, saying, What mean ye that ye use this proverb concerning the land of Israel, saying, The fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge? As I live, saith the Lord Yahawah, ye shall not have occasion any more to use this proverb in Israel. Behold, all souls are mine, as the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. But if a man be just, and do that which is lawful and right.
Which is what?
Lawful and right.
Which is where you get the word righteous from, meaning right. So if a man do that which is lawful and right. Now I was going to tell you what it is. Go ahead.
And hath not eaten upon the mountains, neither hath he lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, neither hath defiled his neighbor's wife.
Has what?
Defiled his neighbor's wife.
So you haven't committed adultery twofold by defiling your wife or by worshiping other gods, sacrificing to other gods. Go ahead.
Neither hath come near to a menstruous woman.
Go ahead. Man, you ain't supposed to have sex with a menstruous woman. A woman on her cycle. That's against our laws. Not supposed to discover her fountain. Go ahead.
And have not oppressed any.
That's not what?
Oppressed any.
Not supposed to oppress your brothers. Go ahead.
But hath restored to the debtor his pledge.
That did what?
Restored to the debtor his pledge.
You borrow money, you're supposed to pay it back. These are the laws that we gotta keep. This is how you get to the kingdom. Go ahead.
Hath spoiled none by violence.
Had not spoiled any by violence. Go ahead.
Hath given his bread to the hungry.
Go ahead.
And hath covered the naked with a garment.
Keep going.
He that hath not given forth upon usury.
You're not supposed to charge your brother usury. Meaning you give him, I let you borrow 300. You gotta pay me back 700. That's usury. We're not supposed to do those things like the banks do. But we're not supposed to do it to our brethren. You can do it to the other nations, not your brothers. Go ahead. Brother, that's the same thing.
Neither hath taken any increase, that hath withdrawn his hand from iniquity, hath executed true judgment between man and man.
Now, this is an important one. Read that again.
Hath executed true judgment between man and man.
We read in Nehemiah that Moses, through the Most High, gave us true laws. So what does it mean to execute judgment between man and man? Like we read in Leviticus chapter 19, it says, "Hey, not thy brother in thy heart, but judge righteously."
Amen.
Okay? So we're supposed to judge our brother according to the law and not judge with prejudice because one man is rich and one man is poor. Go ahead.
Hath walked in my statutes and hath kept my judgments to deal truly.
I did what?
Kept my judgments.
Walked in what?
Walked in my statutes and hath kept my judgments to deal truly.
So we supposed to keep the laws and the commandments to deal truly with each other, man.
Yes, Lord.
Okay? Not to deal in no type of other way, not to deal in malice, not to just break a brother down, but to deal truly with each other.
Amen.
Go ahead.
What book are you coming on?
Ezekiel chapter 18.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He is just, he shall surely live.
Read that verse again now.
Salakia. Have walked in my statutes and have kept my judgments to deal truly.
That word is important. He said to keep his judgments and to walk in the statutes to deal truly. That's important. Go ahead.
He is just, he shall surely live, saith the Lord power.
So when you do all of these things that's mentioned, these are the things that's going to make you live.
Amen.
This is how you're going to get to the kingdom, man.
Yes.
Go ahead, bro.
If he beget a son that is a robber, a shedder of blood, and that doeth the like to any of those things, and that doeth not any of those duties, but even hath eaten upon the mountains and defiled his neighbor's wife, hath
Defiled his neighbor's wife, meaning he had sex with his neighbor's wife, he committed adultery. Go ahead.
hath oppressed the poor and needy, hath spoiled by violence, hath not restored the pledge, and hath lifted up his eyes to the idols, hath committed abomination.
Guess what? Not restoring the pledges, meaning you borrow money from your brother with the intent of not paying him back, and you don't pay him back. That means you had not restored the pledge.
That's true.
Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Hath given forth upon usury, and hath taken increase. Shall he then live? He shall not live.